Oh, yeah, it's working.
Mm-hmm.
That's working there, Clean. I just got an email.
Yeah, it's on. I'll just wait for Anna to come back. Okay, it looks like we are ready to start recording it. Yeah, so we're ready to go. Hi everyone, we are reading, this week we're reading Esmées Ghost, written by a member of society, Angie McGrath. This is a bit new for all of us, I think, to try and read a play online using teens, and streaming to YouTube is a bit alien to all of us, but we're going to give it the best go we can, I suppose. I'll just introduce our cast and then we'll get going. So, playing Cora, we have Anya Feeney. Playing Sam, we have Anna Healy. Playing Esme and reading our stage directions, we have Ellen Collins. Playing Danny, we have Morgan Comerford. Playing Hepzibah, or Pepsi, we have Medora Sengumpta. Playing Lindsay is myself, Cliona O'Riordan. And playing Tom, ironically enough, is Tom Milan. So yeah, guys, if you're ready to go, we'll start now.
A living room, furnished with a sofa, an armchair, and a coffee table. Upstage are a locker and a lamp, and a stack of cardboard boxes. One labelled Cora's Books in black marker has been opened, with books moved onto the boxes beside it. Others are labelled Sam, or in some cases, kitchen, bathroom, etc. Cora and Sam, best friends through college, have just graduated and are hosting a get-together to celebrate renting their first house. 2 throws lie on a coffee table, along with 2 bowls and some bags of snacks foods. All is well loved and warm. Enter Cora, walking backwards and dragging a beanbag, a sturdy handbag over her arm. She wears jeans and an airy shirt with booties, stylish but comfortable. Esme follows, dressed in a black turtleneck, black leggings, and black socks. She is watching Cora intensely, almost flirtatiously, as though inciting her to look up at her. Cora avoids her, putting the beanbag by the sofa. A bottle of vodka and a bottle of orange come out of the bag, which is then dumped on one of the boxes. The drinks are put on the table. All the while, Esme follows ridiculously closely, almost breathing down her neck. Cora never looks at her.
You should be here. Now is not the time. It should be happy.
Enter Sam as Cora puts throws over chair and sofa. He is wearing an apron over his trousers and crisp shirt. Esme meanders the upstage.
Well, is it up to your standards?
Says the one in the apron. What are you? Where did that even come from?
I was cleaning the kitchen. All the counters were covered in dust. We never dusted out. I just dumped shite in there and left.
Oh my god.
I know, how could we forget?
That's not... Never mind. I'd hazard a guess the place is up to my standards, yeah. Sure, if I'm living with someone who wears an apron to clean the kitchen, my standards are going to have to be raised somewhat.
I won't bother you as long as the communal areas are kept clean.
You know we're out of student housing now.
Have you seen the landlord?
Nah, don't be worrying about that fella. He's interested in getting his money on time. As long as there's nothing irreparably damaged, be grand. God, I'm so fucking glad to be having a few drinks tonight.
Why? Something up?
Esme
No.
leans against the locker, eyebrow raised.
No, I'm happy. We've our first place. The world is our oyster. Ain't nothing or no one gonna bring us down now. University educated, cream of the crop, fresh faced young ones the like of us.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Sure, what's to stand in our way? What?
She stops, grinning at him.
Can I not look forward to having a wee session in our brand new, very own feckin' palace? Don't need to have a reason to have a few, and we have a reason. And we're not even day drinking. I don't know what you're complaining about.
Sam shrugs.
Whatever you say.
He's clearly also excited and housebound in their new space. A knock at the door. Esme sits down and huddles beside the locker, barely visible, calmly examining her fingernails.
Ooh, first house guest. Will I get it?
Yep, do the honours.
Sam exits stage left. Cora fixes the throw on the chair and then goes towards the locker, and Esme, who focuses her attention on Cora. Cora ignores her, picking up her bag and shoving it hastily into the box to her left. We enter Sam with Lindsay and Tom. She is dressed for a party. He is dressed to impress her friends and carries a bouquet of flowers.
Hey, would you look at the place? It's lovely. Lads, yous are proper adults now. What will the rest of us do to catch up?
Come on now, girls. Sam will never be ready for the adult world.
Oh, this is Tom, by the way. Obviously, you know who he is. We brought some flowers to make the place a bit more homely.
Lovely to meet you.
Cora, and same to you. If only more men would talk like...
Esme stretches in the background, taking up as much room upstage as she can.
Is that not sexist?
Oh my god, Lynn, it's a joke, and it's coming from me. And it's based in truth, to be fair.
Oh, okay. I just thought you weren't supposed to say stuff like that anymore if you weren't in the countryside.
Cora gives up, confused. Tom is still awkwardly holding the bouquet, unsure of who to hand them to. Taking the flowers.
Cheers, lads. Do you want to sit down?
Smells flowers, frowns.
Where did you get them?
Oh my god, you dope. They're not real. They're ornamental. Fake. You can spray them with perfume and they don't need replacing. They're lovely, lads. Would you believe I actually robbed a vase from my parents' gaff?
Great. I'm living with a hoarder and a thief.
I
Going
wished.
over to boxes and opening one. She pulls a toiletry bag out of the box and a framed photo. She leaves them on the box next to her and pulls out a vase.
Fair fancy, lads.
Placing flowers in vase and carrying them to the coffee table.
Now I feel fully grown. What more could you possibly need in a place only if...
Gets all scared. I was going to mention Danny's alcohol-induced alter ego.
Oh wait, I think you told me about this. Is he the guy we met in Little that time?
Yeah, that's him. Well, his drunk self is a guy we like to call Dan-splain. He explains everything to everyone and basically won't shut up without group silencing or until he falls asleep. Thank God he's a sleepy drunk.
Yeah, you might want to prepare yourself for that tonight. He basically turns into an overly talkative 70-year-old culture man.
Esme throws a mocking shape at Cora, who ignores her.
You're very specific.
She read a lot when we were in school and she was super eloquent, but then she read fuck all in college, so she kept the vocab and fucked up her own syntax at the time.
Esme perches on the coffee table, placing herself in the middle of the conversation.
Nicely phrased. Also, no requirements to be articulating prose on my behalf.
I hate you both. They do this just to get me lost.
The conversation is interrupted by a rhythmic knock at the door, a distinct pattern immediately recognisable to Cora, Sam and Lindsay.
Oh, Pepsi's here.
The hippie one?
Our very own flower child, born of a daisy in a spring meadow, but absolutely never behaves as such. She's fucking vicious.
Love her to bits. I get it, seeing as you received our first guests.
She leaves to let Pepsi in.
Well, she seems nice.
That sounded so fake. Oh my God.
It wasn't. She's funny. Just a little bit, I wouldn't want to get on her bad side, like.
No, don't worry. She's sharp, but that's about as much as it gets. She's been a bit stressed since we started moving.
Come on out of that now. She's been stressing like mad since graduation.
Why, can she not find a job?
Oh, it's not that. She's already found a place in a creche or a play school or something like that. Cora just doesn't do change well. It was the same when we first started college. She'll settle down soon.
Alright, that's good.
There's a madly uncomfortable silence, the kind which occurs between people who are not familiar. The muffled voices of Cora and Pepsi grow closer, then they enter.
So, I don't really know if they'll taste okay, because I didn't realise you shouldn't mix those two things. And I didn't have much sugar.
You're grand girl. I'm sure they'll be lovely. Pepsi made brownies, lads.
She leaves them on the table, forcing Esme out of the way. Esme goes lazily upstage, almost dancing.
Oh, nice one.
Thanks, honey.
No worries. I was just saying, the ingredients and all are kind of not what they were supposed to be, so maybe don't eat them till you're drunk and desperate. You're Tom, yeah?
Yeah, lovely to meet you.
Likewise.
So, how laced are they on a scale of 1 to Lindsay's 21st?
Oh, give over. There's nothing fun in them whatsoever. They're just your average, probably inedible brownies. Although, to be honest, maybe it would have been better to bulk out the other ingredients.
Damn, and I had such high hopes for tonight. Betty, you're going to have to do better if you're going to be a regular house guest.
Pepsi pulls her face in response.
Sorry, what's your full name? Or is Pepsi like... Sorry, I'm not trying to be rude, but it's a cool name. I've just never heard it, so it's like a nickname, right?
Yep, it's a nickname, no worries. Her parents weren't quite that stoned when they named her.
I can answer for myself.
Yeah, but I'm more entertaining. I mean, they must have been mildly stoned at least, because they called her
Sam, don't you fucking do it.
Amelia, which, if you ask me,
That's not it, Tom.
calls their parents' name into question.
Cora gives him a wallop to cut him off.
Thanks. My name is Hepzibah, but nobody calls me that.
Hepzibah.
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 Oh, for fuck's sake.
You're dating your twinlings.
Hepzibah. Easy.
Cora, don't you fucking start.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
I'll stick to Pepsi.
I peep for the best.
Do you want to leave your bags in my room, love?
Thanks. Where is it?
First on the right upstairs.
Pepsi hurries off with her bags, gleeful at the chance to take a look around. The others sit down, following Sam's lead. He sits on the sofa, as do Tom and Lindsay, and she half on his lap with her legs thrown over him. Cora takes the armchair. Danny enters, strutting arrogantly.
Well, lads, place is looking well, eh?
Well, Jesus, let yourself in, like.
The door was open and I was invited.
In the future, please refrain from scaring the shite out of me in my own home.
You have a fine pad now, lad chap.
Please, please do not call this a pad. I'm 23, not 45.
Doesn't matter what age you are, you'd be fighting off the ladies.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they'll be fighting to come in the door once they see the damp and the 30-year-old wallpaper.
Oh, don't diss the place. It's perfect.
Esme grows impatient, half dancing.
I like it. I just don't want him making it gross.
Fine, be that way.
Here, Danny, sit down and don't be starting him on ready, would you?
Danny moves towards the beanbag, causing the visible bristling in Cora, Sam and Lindsay. In Cora, Sam and Lindsay. Esme freezes.
No, you don't, mister. It's the couch or nowhere.
Danny rolls his eyes and sits down in the last place on the couch as Pepsi re-enters.
Yeah, bitch, keep your wide behind out of my beloved spot.
She sits down and stretches like a cat, lounging happily. Esme sprawls by the locker again, bored.
Tom, yeah? Nice to meet you, mate. Lindsay's been going on about you.
Oh, thanks. Good to meet you too.
Right, I'm going to go get the alcohol so Tom doesn't have to spend his first time dealing with Danny sober.
Oi, I can leave, you know. What are we having?
Whatever you brought. We said to bring your own booze.
Well, yeah, but we also have a decent amount of vodka and orange here as well, if you want another slug of that.
Oh, Jesus, what are we, 15? I brought wine to celebrate you being out of the world for real.
Oh, thanks, Dan.
Nice one, mate.
Danny produces a bottle of red from his bag. Cora goes to get glasses from the kitchen.
Hey, Cora. Single bed in your first house. What's that about?
Shut it, hepatitis.
You're gonna have to get over it sooner or later, doll.
Get over what?
Cora re-entering, carrying the stack of plastic cups.
Nothing, don't mind her.
Esme follows her towards the group, standing behind them and watching the goings-on intently.
I don't know anyway. She won't tell me. She's hiding something. Well, she hasn't had fun in about 20 years, if you get me.
Cora throws a cup at Pepsi, who retrieves it and throws it at Danny.
Lads, neither of you are getting any if you won't cop on.
She's not getting any with a pet like that.
Tom snorts.
Yeah, see? New boy's on my side.
No, I mean, you can still fit in a single bed. It's just...
Okay, end of discussion now. Give us the wine, Daniel the Spaniel.
Well, a spaniel.
Because it rhymes and because when he was younger, he looked like he could be Spanish.
Danny pours out the wine and cups are passed around in companionable silence, each person tasting it quietly. Esme grows suddenly restless and paces off the stage, picking at the boxes and furniture in a melancholy humour. After a moment of this,
Lads, don't laugh.
I'm already laughing though.
No, don't. I mean it.
Go on, girl. It can't be that bad.
Do you ever
Do you ever have a dream where you wish you want you?
Shut up. Okay, wait. Do you ever taste something?
Quite frequently, in fact.
Stop. No. Do you ever taste something like a drink usually, and it tastes like someone?
stifle laughter from everyone except Cora, who looks curiously at her wine.
You mean tastes like kissing someone, or?
Here, Lynn. Have we not told you can't be going around licking people?
No. Oh my god. Okay. The taste makes you think of someone.
Esme wanders lazily up to Cora's chair, smiling faintly, and perches on the arm, her arm thrown over the back behind Cora, the others laugh.
Yeah, no, I get you, Lynn.
She considers for a moment as the others simmer down.
Red wine kind of makes me sad like that, though.
There's a general eye roller in the room.
What? It's true.
Oh Jesus, Cora, you better not be a sad drunk tonight.
I'm not.
She downs her red wine.
See, off the red, onto the spirits. All will be well.
She cracks into the vodka and orange. Pepsi also finishes her wine and passes her cup wordlessly to Cora, who fills it for her.
And that, Tommy dear, is why you don't let Cora pour your drinks for you unless you want to end up with your stomach pumped.
Cora pulls a face at her and sits back with her drink. Esme gets up and wanders upstage again, brushing Cora's shoulder as she does so. Throughout the rest of the first act, the others finish their wine and move on to vodka or their own drink. Cora and Pepsi drink faster than anyone else and become noticeably tipsy quite quickly.
So Tom, what are you doing with yourself? You're out of college, yeah?
Yeah, I am, yeah. I just finished the music course. I work in Centra by the old auto factories, or old auto factories, but I do gigs as well. I've been trying to get this one to sing for me.
Oh yeah, Lindsay, you should.
Yeah, you should. I can barely hold the tune, but this one has a gorgeous voice, and I can't seem to find a dependable singer. A couple of mates on drums and keys, and that's grand, they're solid, but you'd be so perfect, Lindsay.
Yeah, see, the thing about gigging is it's grand and easy and all fun and drummer and all that. But if you don't have a singer, it's hard to put on a good show, you know? People don't want you as a regular in the pub if you can't show you're consistent. You have to have a permanent singer. Someone good shows you're reliable. You have a better chance of getting a stable gig, you know?
I can't believe you just mansplained to another man.
Yeah, man, you're barely through your first glass of wine.
Yeah, fuck, that was quick. You should give it a try, Lynn. You play your own songs or covers, Tom?
With the band, mostly covers. I have a couple of originals, though. I wrote one about Lindsay, actually, but I taught it to her so she could sing it, seeing as I can't make it sound good.
Tom, stop.
That is so adorable, oh my god.
Lindsay, you have to sing it.
Lindsay is reluctant, but they egg her on.
Okay, fine. Jesus, calm the ham.
She clears her throat and begins.
You put me back together again, just when I thought I was broken forever, so broken that nothing On this earth could mend me, you put me back together again. You put me back together again, just like a puzzle with no pieces missing. I see myself as you see me, my friend. You put me back together again. When everything else in this world flickers and falters and falls, and the thunder is under our feet, you feel like 4 strong walls.
Esme, during the song, rests her head on her folded arms on the back of Cora's chair, whispering the lyrics along with Lindsay's voice. Cora retreats into herself. When the song finishes, everyone applauds. Tom smiles proudly at Lindsay, kisses her lightly, and whispers something in her ear.
Aw, that was so sickeningly lovely.
Gorgeous.
I have to give it a go singing for the band, Lindsay.
I suppose I'll think about it.
Yeah, you should. You've a great set of pipes.
Thanks.
Esme edges closer to Cora's face, giggling to herself. Cora jumps suddenly.
Jesus, are you alright? Don't you fucking puke on me again, Cora.
Yeah, I'm grand. I just need to pee.
Yeah, and I need to smoke.
They head off, but are more unsteady than they had anticipated. Cora stumbles and knocks over a box of books, and Pepsi walks into her, nearly sending her flying.
Still fun in your sea legs, eh?
I'm fine. I just stood up too quickly.
Pepsi helps Cora pick up the books. Esme backs off and stands near the locker, watching them.
Yeah, see, sometimes you don't realise you're already tipsy, so you stand up really fast and the blood rushes to your head, and you only realise that...
Ooh, dance playing.
Tom laughs. Danny shuts up and takes another drink. Pepsi finds a piece of paper that has fallen out of the book.
Hey, what's this?
Hey, no, leave it. Don't read it.
She snatches it and searches for the right book, inserting it in the front cover.
That's close to the bone.
Some snorts and raised eyebrows from the couch and beanbag.
Sorry, I didn't mean to snap.
She exits.
Oh, Jesus, now I definitely need a smoke.
She also exits. A moment of silence. Esme picks up the book and sits back down beside the locker to read it.
Lads, can we please do something stupid to ease Cora's nerves a little bit? She's just way too highly strung at the moment.
Have you talked to her about it?
Of course. She says it's just the stress of work and moving and all that.
Well, there's one way to solve it.
He gets up and gives Cora's glass a generous top-up of vodka.
Oh, for fuck's sake, no. Let's play a game. Truth or dare?
Yeah, why not?
I'm down for that.
This feels like an initiation.
Don't worry, we'll go easy on you. For a while.
What about you, Sam? You doing alright?
Me? God, yeah. I mean, I'm fucking terrified at the prospect of walking into that office on Monday, but it's exciting as well.
Don't be daft. You'll be grand. You know what you're doing.
What are you doing?
Working in a solicitor's place, starting with a desk job, and I'm going to try and work my way up. It's not the work itself that scares me, it's the stupid things. Like, what if I can't get people's names, or if I do something like, I don't know, lose the ability to form sentences and everyone's first impression of me is that I'm thick?
Don't be ridiculous. God, you're like the smartest guy I know. Sorry, Tom. You're smart in other ways, but it's true. You're going to fly it.
Remember when you told me that before I started working in the record shop and I broke 3 vinyls on my first day?
Danny, why the hell would you say that? Like, I need to be calm, not paranoid that Lindsay's managed to jinx me.
Hey, they didn't fire me.
Only because you swept them into the bin and didn't tell anyone.
How do you know that?
What can I say? He asked me what you were like, and it sums up your personality.
Cora comes back in. Esme seems to take interest, but makes no move, going back to the book.
What's happening now?
Danny and Lindsay are trying to outdick each other. Also, truth or dare, are you up?
Obviously. Let's just wait till Pepsi comes back.
Yep. You feeling better now?
Yeah, I am. Sorry, I just felt a bit weird.
It's grand, no worries.
Pepsi re-enters.
Oh, Jesus, here we go.
Pepsi flings herself lazily on the beanbag and grins.
Did I hear the words truth or dare, lads?
Yeah, we've reverted to our 15-year-old selves. You playing?
Oh my god, remember the bike sheds? And those little kittens that used to be there?
I'll take that as a yes.
The massive fucking dog-sized rat we found.
I'd rather not. Thanks.
Good times. Wouldn't you love to be that age again?
No.
Not a hope in
Are you
hell.
actually serious?
Not if you paid me.
Right, Jesus, I just liked art class.
God, no. Catch me walking into that room again, you'd come out smelling like maroon bags for weeks after.
And going into Kent's room after and her scrunching up her face and going, have any of you been smoking?
She'd always look at me.
In fairness, you probably had been smoking. It was just the rest of us that had the smell of it forcibly attached to our clothes.
Lads, this is boring and you're giving me unnecessary flashbacks. Can we please play Truth or Dare?
Oh my god. The kittens!
For the love of Almighty God.
Okay then, Danny, truth or dare?
Did we not make it a rule years ago that you two couldn't ask each other?
Oh, we're adults, man. Calm your tits. Truth.
Okay, what's the worst mistake you've ever made?
Dare.
Show us your tattoo.
Oh, are you serious?
Strip down. Tom's never seen it.
I don't know if I want to.
Oh, you so do.
Do it, and I'll let you use my PlayStation account free of charge for the next 2 weeks.
Fuck you, man.
He reluctantly stands up, turns around, and holds up his jumper so Sam can see his back. Sam Wolf whistles.
It's no good if you're turned away from us. Come on, show Tom.
Danny sighs audibly, but turns to Tom so Tom can see. As he does, we see a sizable tramp stamp which reads Tato in wonky black capital. He glares at Cora, who is failing to stifle a laugh. Tom's eyes widen and he tries to gauge her to react, eventually settling forth.
I mean, it's not that bad. Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm just a little tipsy.
And the others laugh as Danny sits back down, joining in with them.
I'm gonna get it covered up. I just don't know with what yet.
Tramp stamp's a tramp stamp. I hate to break it to you.
She's got you there.
Alright, Cora, seeing as you're being so funny this evening, truth or dare?
Dare.
I dare you to chug your entire drink.
Is that it? I'm not a wimp. What do you take me for?
An idiot?
Cora picks up the drink and brings it to her mouth. She takes the first large mouthful, intending to down it and splutters.
Jesus fuck! What did you do to it, you rotten bastard?
Drink's still there, girl.
Don't be stupid, I'm not dealing with your puke.
I won't. Stomach of steel. I just wasn't expecting it, that's all. Dickhead.
Chug, 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 chug,
Chug,
chug.
chug, chug, chug.
Pepsi and Lindsay join in as Cora finishes her drink, wincing and pumping the cup down victoriously. Esme puts the book back and turns to see what's happening.
Ha! Right, Lindsay. Truth or dare?
Truth, I'm not moving from the spot.
Fine.
Esme sidles up behind her and gently twirls a wisp of Cora's hair around her finger.
Okay. Who was the last crush you had before Tom?
You can't ask me that. I don't even remember.
Alright, well, what's the weirdest crush you've ever had?
God, you really are your 15-year-old self tonight, aren't you?
You probably know this one anyway. Oh my god, Tom, please don't judge me. I was like 12 at the time and it was over 10 years ago. It doesn't count.
Don't worry, I'm not going to judge you.
Okay. Well, I used to play Gaelic when I was younger. I mean, I hated it, but I basically just stayed because I had a thing for one of the coaches and I wasn't bad. Anyway, I think he noticed because he started getting super creepy and passing comments.
Esme steps back lightly, looking somewhat embarrassed.
So I stopped liking him and I left. And then recently I saw a photo of him and I was just like, oh, he is so disgusting. You have no idea. Do you know those older men who look like they're going to smell like stale bread and links? He's one of those.
Jesus, I didn't mean to unleash your childhood trauma. Sorry.
Oh god, no, it's not like that at all. I mean, it was gross, but if I wasn't able to cope with that, I'd have a nervous breakdown every time an old fella tried to chat me up in the pub.
Well, in fairness to you, Luke.
Nope, not listening. You don't need to give me another one of your social stoner rants.
Stone socialist, hon.
I know it shouldn't happen. I know we shouldn't have to cope with it. Everyone and their mother knows. But until blokes aren't blokes anymore, I'm going to have to learn to cope with it and try and keep it them from getting to me for my own sake.
Pepsi doesn't respond. The others look at her for a response. She is gazing off into space. After a moment of silence, she chuckles lazily to herself. Esme sits back by the locker.
That's some strong countryside talk there, Lindsay.
I know, right? I'm so articulate tonight. Okay, so I think Pepsi's out of the game.
Resident sleepy spectator.
She salutes them and begins to doze again.
Okay, thought so. Tom, honey, do you want to play properly?
Maybe in a minute. I don't want to ruin the vibe.
Ah, you won't.
Yeah, sure. I'll play in the next round.
Whatever you feel like. Right, Sam, I dare you.
I'm supposed to get a choice.
I'm supposed to get a choice. Well, spojta, smojta. I dare you to eat one of Pepsi's brownies.
Oh my god. Give me one.
Sam recoils but doesn't
Okay.
object. He takes the brownies from the table, passing one along to Pepsi, as well as to Danny when prompted. He then takes one and braces himself. Pepsi bites hers, chokes a little, then sighs appreciatively.
Lads, they're actually grand when you get past the dryness.
Oh, great. Dust brownies.
He bites into his, then splutters.
Oh my god, Pepsi, they're like sand.
He puts it down on the table and takes a drink.
I can't, I just can't, sorry. What if I never produce saliva again?
I'll finish it. These are class. I don't know what you're on about.
He tucks into his own and then to Sam's.
Oof. Right. Danny, truth or dare?
Truth.
English, mayhaps?
Sorry, brownies.
He washes the last one mouthful down.
Truth.
Right. What's your biggest regret?
For fuck's sake, you think it'll be funny just keep going on about the tattoo all night, don't you?
Here, that'll get old, Sam.
I'm not just a dope, you know. I can give you a proper answer and all.
Right. Go on, so.
So a while back, maybe 6 months or so ago,
Loudly to the tune of what's up.
And say hey.
Pepsi, shut the fuck up.
Pepsi giggles to herself again. Tom laughs.
anyway, yeah, about 6 months ago.
I just wanted to see what it would work outside my head, like it did on the inside.
I was in Flaherty's in town with a few of the lads from the studio, and I met this girl. Ended up chatting or whatever, got her number, kind of liked her, that was all grand. Chatted on Instagram for a while. Met her out a couple more times, not on purpose, like we were just in the same places. And it seemed like we were both interested, and then it just kind of fizzled out. Not that I wanted it to, maybe she did, I don't know. But there's no obvious reason for it. So I just feel kind of bad for letting that happen.
Esme drifts closer to Cora again, who seems to be miles away from the conversation. Esme places her hand lightly on Cora's shoulder. She doesn't react.
I just... Oh God, this is going to sound so cringe. She had this, like, really nice laugh. Like, if I had a few drinks in me, I'd start thinking, that's the most wonderful laugh I've ever heard. She just made everything seem a bit happier or something. I don't know.
Why don't you message her, Dan?
I don't know. Fear of rejection?
Ah, but sure, what have you got to lose, Danny boy?
I know.
Might give you some clarity at least. Maybe she's feeling the same way, but she's too afraid to say anything because she feels like it's too late.
Yeah.
There's a short stretch of thoughtful silence. Sam looks at Cora, who's still zoned out. He nudges her, snapping her out of it, and Esme takes a sharp step back. Both focus on him.
You okay there?
Oh yeah, grand, sorry. Who knew Danny had such emotional capacity?
Heck off, I'll bring Dan's plane back.
Message her, mate. Seriously, you'll regret it more if you don't.
I know, yeah. It honestly would be nice to hear her laugh again. Now it's a bit cheesy, but it's true.
There's a silence again, nobody knowing what to say. Suddenly, Pepsi breaks the tension.
Oh, Danny boy, her pipes are calling.
She starts laughing very loudly, perhaps trying to intimidate Danny's almost state. She sounds like a donkey braying. Tom gives in first, surprised, and eventually everyone is laughing along hysterically. Esme's laugh resonates above the others. She throws herself on Cora from behind, and though hugging her head thrown back, still laughing. She's cutting off Cora's air supply. Cora grasps at Esme's arms, distressed, barely laughing. Lights down. End of Act 1. Act 2. The next morning, used plastic cups lie around the set, and packets from snacks have been left carelessly on the floor. Esme lies sprawled on the beanbag. Enter Cora, mug in hand, dressed and madly hungover. She ignores Esme, going to the locker and picking up the photo of her grandmother. She brings it with her to sit on the armchair, tucking her feet underneath her. Esme moves little, only propping herself up slightly when Cora sits down.
I don't think I can drink anymore. I don't think I should anyway. It makes me all maudlin and awful. Funny thing is, thinking of you doesn't really make me sad. And drink doesn't make me think of you any more than usual anyway. In my mind, you're just there. You never change. You're just you as you were. Is that the difference between the dead and the living? I can talk to you and know you're just a figment of my imagination, and that's okay. It's as close as I have to you being here. But I won't see you again. You're not going to change.
She leans forward and places the photo on the coffee table in front of her. Esme sits up fully, cross-legged and listening.
Of course, if you were here, you'd tell me to stop being daft and that the dead are dead and the living are still alive, and that's the... singing about the worms or something.
She laughs, then sings a verse of the Her song. Esme smiles to herself and performs a brief, creepy dance.
The worms crawl in and the worms crawl out. The worms play pinnacle on your snout. They eat your eyes, they eat your nose, they eat the jelly between your toes. Be merry, my friends, be merry. Sometimes I worry that my memories of you are wrong. That I can't remember your face properly, but I have photographs. But with her, God knows how she's changed. I don't have photographs, and anyway, she wouldn't look like them anymore. It's just shit not knowing how she is. She could be in any state and I wouldn't know.
Esme sits cross-legged on the sofa, facing Cora.
There's nothing I can do for her. I try not to think about it, but will I even know when she dies?
Esme laughs.
Or she could be happier than she's ever been and I won't ever be able to witness that smile again. It's like she's in the room with me. I can almost see her. That's how constant the thought of her is. Still caught halfway between grace and a fucking concussion. Every tiny thing reminds me of her. But I'm scared to really face her. If I do, I realise how wrong that memory of her is. How much she's probably changed. And I'm afraid she'll just disappear. Because logically, I know she wouldn't look the same anymore. Like when you wake up from a dream and you realise the person you were dreaming about looks nothing like the person your brain just conjured up.
Esme gets up and walks behind the furniture to perch on the arm of Cora's purse, gently placing her hand on her shoulder. It looks like an attempt to comfort, but Cora stiffens slightly and keeps ignoring her.
How would she react to this? How mad is it that she doesn't even know I'm thinking of her? It feels like it should be a palpable thing. I so regret never having told her anything. Although part of me wonders if she knew, but never said.
Officially, almost scoffing.
It wouldn't be appropriate anyway.
Enter Danny, dressed for work and carrying his shoes. Esme moves a short distance away, watching solemnly.
Morning, sunshine.
Morning.
Jesus. You're glued to that armchair, huh?
Got to carve out a spot of my own if I'm going to live here.
You're up quite early. You alright?
Yeah, grand. I'm just a bit out of it. Headachy, like.
You brought this on yourself.
Yeah, I know. Sure, you're hardly in one piece now, are you?
Yeah, I'm a bit tired, like, but I'm grand, sure. Most of the, think of the amount of food I ate, soak up all that alcohol. Practically all of Pepsi's brownies, except that those last two she beat me to.
Oh, Jesus, Dan, that shouldn't work in your favour.
I'm telling you, wise decisions were made here.
I beg to differ.
Man, they were. That's it to be. I have work later. I'm going to go grab a quick cup of coffee from the kitchen.
Will do, help yourself, like.
Heading to
Thanks,
the kitchen.
love.
There's cereal and fruit in the top press there in the corner, Danny.
Esmée lies down on the couch, oddly elegant, her arm thrown over her eyes. Enter Pepsi, bedraggled and in pyjamas, large amounts of mascara smudged under her eyes. She sits on the beanbag, glaring at Cora, barely awake. Cora waits for her to speak, unnerved by the death stare she is receiving. Eventually she gives up.
Hi?
Morning.
Have I killed a member of your family or something?
What?
Why are you glaring at me?
Oh, sorry. Tired. Need a smoke. Be grand in a second. Any coffee?
What the fuck? Like, quit death staring at me. It's creepy out.
Turning slowly to stare blearily at the floor.
Sorry. Any caffeine, though? I'm not alive.
Kitchen, lovey. Danny's at it already. You might want to wash your face and all that. You're covered in makeup. Might wake you up a bit anyway. Make you feel a bit fresher.
Shit. Yeah, thanks.
She gets up and moves towards the kitchen.
I think I may have overdone it a little last night.
Yeah, maybe just a bit.
Exit Pepsi. Enter Lindsay and Tom. She's still in pyjamas. He's dressed in the same clothes as before, rumpled. Esmée sits up and looks over the back of the sofa to see who it is, then climbs clumsily over to wander upstairs.
Oh dear.
Don't worry, she always looks like that in the mornings.
It's not even that early.
The sound of breaking china comes from the kitchen.
Shit! Sorry, Cora.
It's only just 9:30. That's early for Pepsi.
They sit on the sofa, an odd distance apart for a couple.
Morning, Cora. You're looking very functional for someone who drank an army's worth of vodka last night.
Thanks. I may look composed, but I'm actually writing notes to myself in my head. Must not mix vodka and red wine again. Is everything okay?
Yeah, why?
You're very far apart, considering you basically glued yourself together last night.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. You know how clingy I get.
I didn't. A voyage of discovery it was.
Cora's just glad it wasn't her dealing with me.
You've the patience of a saint, Tom. Also, like an actual stomach of steel. Thanks for cleaning up after her.
Oh my god, lads, I'm so sorry.
You were like a human fountain. It was impressive, actually.
Can we please just forget that ever happened?
It's grand, girl. The place needed some kind of initiation anyway. It's not home till you've been forced to deep-clean it.
Plus, you were neat about it, relatively.
Anyway, what's this weird gap about?
Oh, that's actually my fault. I told him he needn't bring pyjamas because we don't usually end up using them. In fairness, we do usually just keep where we drop.
Not in this mature household.
Well, it's not like he's got issues himself or anything, but he was cleaning up after my mess last night, and to put it mildly, he fucking reeks.
Thanks, love.
He moves towards her mockingly as though to hug her.
Get away from me now, you! You smell like Danny's sock drawer. Sam's up and about upstairs, and he offered Tom a shower and some clean clothes, but he doesn't want to be a hassle.
Go on, Tom. We're all going to head out for a fry up in town soon. You don't want to get us kicked out of the place. Sam genuinely won't mind.
Cora, could I maybe do the same?
I hear you look a bit funky in Sam's clothes.
Stop. My clothes are worse than his.
Worse than Sam's? Well, that's truly a sin.
Cora, please. The thoughts of putting on those disgusting, stinking, puke-soaked...
Okay, of course, it's fine. Just drag something out of one of the boxes on the landing. There's a few of them labelled as my clothes, just not my velvet top. You can keep your mitts off that one.
You have no faith in me.
I'm taking it for granted that whatever you take, I'm not getting back.
That hardly seems fair. Look, if I have anything of yours, it's just because I'm borrowing it.
I know that's what I was told, but I'm starting to doubt it.
Okay, well, let's get philosophical here. How long before it stops being borrowing and starts being stealing? Because I fully intend to give them back to you.
Fully? As in 100% intention?
Well, maybe not anything that's torn or lost. So let's say a 75% chance of you receiving your clothes from me.
You're not selling the whole borrowing versus theft thing, darling.
Oh my god. Cora, I forgot. I've lost your shawl. I'm so sorry.
Then, in fairness, you took that months ago. I've long since said my goodbyes and made my peace.
Sorry.
Although I'm fascinated to hear you admitting you lost something. Is that down to the circumstances?
What do you mean?
Are you telling me it's definitely lost because something happened? That means there's no way you just shoved it under your dresser or something.
Maybe.
You have to tell her, Lynn, it's gas.
Promise you won't be mad.
Cora gives her a look as if I was him.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Well, a few weeks back, I was at a set at a friend's place, and two of my other friends, their couple, were upstairs. She was pretty drunk, see, so he was putting her to bed, and I was bringing up cups of water to them. Oh, and there was still people in the kitchen, so we were chatting each time I went in for more water, so they thought I was grand, right? Except I wasn't. I'd just forgotten that I was drunk, because that friend was so much drunker than I was. And then I tripped going up the stairs and spilled half the water out of one of the mugs. Sure, my friend didn't notice she was so flutered, but I knew the fall was loud, and I was like, oh my god, they've heard me in the kitchen, now they think I'm a tool. So I didn't want to go into the kitchen and get kitchen paper and wipe it up, because then they'd know I was fucked. Like, I didn't want them to think I was stupid. So when I came back down the stairs, I used your shawl.
Makes perfect sense.
Oh, it gets better.
So obviously your shawl was soaked. But then I realised it would look even worse to walk into the kitchen with a dripping wet shawl after them hearing me be an actual elephant on the stairs and spilling shit everywhere. So I put it somewhere along the way, and I don't know where.
For the love of Christ, Lindsay, what do you like?
Stop, I know it was behind some sort of shelving unit, but I can't remember where. I didn't even realise I was missing anything until I got home the next day and Mam gave out to me for going out in the night without anything on my shoulders.
So bloody funny.
So bloody stupid, more like.
No, you're really not. That's a sophisticated thought process right there. You're just proving that everyone has that daft paranoia in them at all times, which is honestly very reassuring.
Esme, pensive, begins to dance in earnest. Ethereal. Enter Danny.
Miracle, lads. I just had a whole massive bowl of cornflakes outside the back door while our darling Hepzibah had a fag and she didn't snap at me once.
She didn't speak to you at all, did she?
It was beautiful.
He goes towards the couch and places himself between Tom and Lindsay. Enter Pepsi, face clean, still disgruntled.
I just spent that whole smoke with him and his obnoxious chewing right in my ear.
Flopping down on the beanbag.
Every sound is going through me.
Danny suddenly looks alarmed, then disgusted.
Oh, sweet Christ, what the ever like fuck is that?
That's Tom.
Sorry, mate, no spare clothes.
Oh,
Jumping up
Jesus,
and moving
man.
away.
Oh, Jesus, man, take a shower.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Danny moves towards the beanbag, but Pepsi straightens up and shoots him a murderous look.
Don't you dream of it, you tooth-grinding noise bag.
Wow, creative.
Here, Danny, sit down. We're gonna go get freshed up anyway.
You sure?
Yeah, no worries.
Sure, I wouldn't want to sit with her anyway. She's reeking of fags.
Oh, stop fighting and sit down, would you? I haven't the head for this lark now.
Danny lies down on the couch with his head on the end closest to Cora. Esme stops dancing and sits on the arm of the sofa by his feet. Pepsi glares through her at Danny. Enter Sam.
Hello. What's all the tension about?
Everyone's hungover and Danny and Pepsi are in the same room sober.
Well, did you have a decent night?
Yeah, I did, thanks. It was lovely to put the faces to names and all that.
Yeah, I'd say you got to know us all a little too well, if anything.
Sure, look, it now. You don't have to worry about appearances anymore. I've seen you in a state, you've seen me in a state, except you, Cora. You were fairly reserved despite being 90% ethanol by 2 a.m.
Oh, that's me, mysterious out.
Oh, it'll take you years to drag anything at all out of that yoke.
Well, doesn't that tell me something about her? She's got more sense than the rest of us anyway.
Thanks. See, I've been telling you for donkey's years.
Danny sits up to make room on the sofa. Sam sits down beside him.
Sam, could I maybe take you up on that offer of clothes?
Oh, of course, mate, no worries. I thought you might, so I left a few clothes out on the banister for you. You can have an old route through and see what suits you.
Mary, you're so anally retentive.
Thanks a million, man.
No bother at all.
By the way, if anyone finds a little sparkly silver earring, that's mine. I still hold out hope it didn't end up in the toilet.
Noted. I'll keep an eye out for it when we're cleaning up.
Thanks, hon. But if it did end up in the toilet, would you mind taking it out?
What? How could we do that? It'll have been flushed out, love.
I take it that's where it ended up, so.
Well, no. I don't know, but if the loo was flushed, would it not be in the top part?
Darling, that's not how it works.
The sister. Oh, Lindsay, go get dressed.
Here, lads. Yous are all so patronising. I'm not a plumber, like.
Thank fuck.
Lindsay, the water doesn't go around in a cycle. You see, the cistern is only there.
Danny, I swear on your manky immortal soul. Mansplain again and I'll brain you.
Right. Well, we'll be back down in a while. Thanks for the clothes, lads.
No worries, love.
Yeah, I am with Sam.
Not at all.
They exit.
Are we going out for breakfast, so?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
We'd better be sitting in a darkened corner somewhere.
I have to head to work there in a few minutes, but I already nicked your cereal.
God, I'm so glad that I don't have to work this weekend.
Are you sure you get fired if you turned up like that?
Yeah, you're not great at with feigning composure.
Esme finally moves from the couch, leaving a clear line between Pepsi and Danny. She goes back towards the boxes, rooting through them until she finds a scarf. She spends some time making it flow through the air, dancing again, before experimenting with ways of wearing it. She eventually settles for tying it around her waist. Meanwhile,
I don't know. Oh my god, do you know what happened last week?
You finally figured out how to get there on your own.
Shut up, you prick. That was Lindsay, and she wasn't working there. She was just bringing my clothes back to me. No, guess who came in?
All of your exes as a support group?
Hilarious.
Lindsay, 3 weeks later after finding the place?
Oh, leave her alone, would ya? No, you're one, Quiva. Remember from secondary school?
I feel at a disadvantage here.
Oh, I remember her. God, what was her surname?
I couldn't tell you.
Sorry, Danny. She was in school with us. Madly talented athlete, super toned, spoke multiple languages, but never really spoke unless spoken to. She always seemed nice, but she was one of those people who became a reference, mainly because she was anxious and people mocked her for it.
Yeah, like every time someone took too long to answer in class, other people would start singing her name really loudly. She was always really nervous.
Yeah, she eventually beat the shit out of some big lad who was picking on a first year. So towards the end of sixth year, she was somewhat of a legend. Didn't make her any less anxious, unfortunately. Anyway, I was mopping a load of pasta sauce that some little shit had spilled all over one of the aisles, and she comes in and goes, Excuse me, do you work here?
Oh god, that's unfortunate.
I was standing here like, bitch, where do you think I got the money? Like, in one of those shitty films where they steal the cleaner's clothes and shove them in the cupboard, she didn't even recognise me. So I just looked at her, and she looked at me. And I wasn't going to do anything to decrease the awkwardness. A girl's got to learn to use her fully functional eyeballs.
Doesn't she have glasses?
Oh, shush. My point still stands. Mad, though. She's even more muscular than before. She looks like she's serious about this being her thing.
She kind of always was, no? She used to be getting changed in the bathroom for PE every Wednesday when I'd be mitching from Irish. She seemed fairly serious back then.
Well, hopefully it works out for her anyway.
She'd better learn to look at what's in front of her before she goes at any high speeds, or she'll mow down every object under 4 foot in the vicinity.
Why would she change in the bathroom? Did your shitty school not even have changing rooms?
Yeah, but she's a lesbian, and I don't think she ever felt comfortable with being with the other girls. She was out, so like they knew.
How the hell does that work? Look, if I was here, I would have been in there all the time with the others, taking my sweet time with my fully functioning eyeballs.
Esme stops playing with the scarf, leaving it around her waist, and cautiously walking up behind Cora's chair.
Ugh, what the fuck is wrong with you?
God, Danny, do you ever think before you open your fucking mouth?
What? I'm just saying. What's wrong with that?
Oh, love of all that's holy.
Do you have any idea how predatory lesbians are made to feel in those situations? It's just crap. It doesn't work like that. Women know how shitty it feels to be looked at like they're being preyed on, so we're generally fucking paranoid about making other women feel like that. Even if we purely accidentally see someone in those situations, all we fucking feel is guilt. We're not rotten, creepy blokes. Not everyone's default setting is taking advantage of everyone around them. That's just you.
Jesus, alright. Bit far, Cora.
Yeah, a little bit. But she makes a point, man. You're not a good representative of the males of the species.
Actually, I think he's a pretty bloody accurate representative.
Cora, darling, I understand your irritation, but even I'm a bit overwhelmed by it all right now.
If you were so guilty about it, why didn't you join her in the fucking cubicle then?
Because, dickhead, then I would have been contributing to the problem, and I would have felt guilty for a whole other reason. Plus, I wasn't out yet. Catch fucking 22.
Okay, Jesus, guys, can you please calm down?
There's a lengthy silence. Esme is standing, tense and still, behind Cora.
Look, sorry, I appreciate that I went a little bit far, but hearing that shit gets very old very fast.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry for not thinking it through.
Cora keeps looking angrily at the floor, as though holding herself back. Donnie watches her, sheepish. Esme looks as though she is sizing him up for a fight.
I'd better be going anyways. I'll see you a lot later. Hope you get settled in quickly. Thanks for last night.
He gets up and walks towards the door, but pauses and turns.
And I am sorry, Cora. I never knew that was something that affected people like that.
Cora nods. She does not look at him, but her face and posture soften somewhat. Danny looks relieved. He waves to the others, who wave back, and then he leaves. Esme sits down in his place.
Oi, Cora, chin up, babes, it's okay.
Did you really feel that way?
What, do you think she just tore him a new arsehole for the sake of a guilt trip?
Jesus, woman, you were so gross.
You really are exceptionally crude right now, I must say. God, was I way too harsh on him?
Nah, girl, he's pretty revolting sometimes.
Yeah, plus it's entertaining to see him fight with someone other than Pepsi every once in a while. Seriously, how you felt?
Well, yeah, I wasn't ready to be out, and I knew that if I went somewhere else to change, I'd be outing myself immediately.
God, I thought you were comfortable with yourself very early on in school.
Well, yeah, I was, but it's not that simple. You still feel like you're somewhere where you shouldn't be, like you wouldn't be wanted if they knew. I mean, I used to hide in a corner and stay facing away. I changed so slowly that I was the last out the door, so I never felt I was creeping on anybody when I walked past them. But also, once I started going out with Shelby, I was worried that me being out would solidify the rumours about me. So that was the last couple of years of school until we broke up and I stopped being even mildly closeted. And she, if you remember, was most definitely not ready to come out. It would have endangered her safety.
Why didn't you talk to us about it?
Wouldn't have done anything, love, but thanks.
It can be good to just vent, you know?
I know, darling, thanks. And you know you two can always come to me, right? Even if it's just for a chat and a distraction.
Well, now that you say it, there's something I've wanted to ask you both.
Shoot.
Well, okay, this is difficult. So, I have this growth right here, and
Here, get out of that.
I take it back. You may never tell me anything, Heffalump.
Pepsi makes a winding motion and raises her middle finger at him. She then gets up and stretches, yawning.
Right, I'll go get dressed. I may check on the lovebirds as well. They've been gone a while. Starting to get a bit concerning. God knows Lindsay could have accidentally drowned herself in the shower, and Tom would be knocking on the door, too afraid to invade her privacy and check on her.
Nah, it's way more likely that she drowned them both.
Oh, God, that's embarrassing.
I'll shout if I find any bodies.
Do give us a warning if they're not decent bodies, will you?
What makes a decent body, pray? Must it be blemish-free and marble blue, or must its decomposing derriere be immaculately peachy despite the ravages of time and the heat of the shower?
Pepsi, don't make me hurt you.
I have high standards, to be fair.
Right, I'm going up. And don't worry, you'll get plenty of notice if they aren't decent. Me weeping, for example, at my sudden and terrible loss of sight.
Exit Pepsi. Esme stands up on the sofa, walking along it, and over the arm to sit on the beanbag.
Always so dramatic.
Cora.
Will she ever get out of her emo phase?
Cora, shut up for a minute.
What?
What's up with you? You're so off at the moment, and don't say it's stress. I know damn well it's not that simple.
Sam, honestly, I'm grand.
You know, you always say you trust me. You know I trust you. And yet, you never tell me anything. I never know what's going on with you, so I never know why you're stressed.
Sam, it's not your responsibility to stress over me.
I know that. But do you trust me, Cora? Because sometimes I worry that you actually feel isolated, but you don't want to hurt my feelings by saying so.
That's not true.
Prove it.
What? That's not fair. I tell you anything. Always have. You know that.
Well, tell me this then. What was getting to you last night that you kept spacing out?
Nothing.
When Danny was talking about your one.
Oh, that's nothing, Sam. Honestly, I was just remembering something.
Must be a fairly heavy something to affect you like that. Seriously, tell me about it. Let me have a hint as to what I'm supposed to help you deal with. Because I want to help you, Cora, I really do, but I can't until I know what's up.
Sam, you're stressed out and you're starting a new job. I don't want to burden you with something that's over and stupid.
I'm not burdening me, I promise. That's what friends do anyway, they help each other. That starts with you telling me.
I promise you, it's completely irrelevant to the here and now.
Sam gestures for her to carry on regardless.
Seriously? God, okay.
Esme stands and crosses the front of the stage slowly, deep in thought. She eventually stops beside the armchair, her hand resting on the back, watching and listening to Cora.
It was a few years ago, the summer of 2015, May if you want to be precise. I remember the date because something horrendous happened. You'll remember that day. And Mum tried to lighten it up with jokes about the merry month of May. At the time, I was still with Shelley. She was pretty broke up about it. It was shocking for everyone, really. I was waiting where we were for her to get her things so she could go home. And people were smiling around, milling around, comforting each other. I was numb, to be honest, completely. I couldn't process it. Then a woman came up to me, a woman I knew quite well. Shelley hadn't come out yet. Also, she was still in the other room, get it?
Cora, come on. I know it's hard, but let yourself vent. You don't have to lighten it for me.
Okay, anyway, this woman, and when we pulled apart, her hands were in mine.
Esme turns and kneels, gently placing her hands over Cora's.
I was just trying to comfort her, just instinct, you know? And she said, I can't ever react. I can't cry. Everyone else is crying, but I don't know what I'm feeling. I just feeling shocked. And she could see I hadn't cried much either, so she asked me if I was the same. Like, she needed reassurance. And I said yes, just kept stroking her hands, trying to soothe her. But I needed to look away, so I kept glancing to see if Shelley was coming yet. Like, I was distracted. It was the way she was looking at me, though. I couldn't stand it.
What way? You mean the sadness?
Kind of. I don't know. Open, I suppose. I couldn't comfort her the way I wanted to, but to cover that up, I'm afraid I dismissed her.
I'm sure you're reading too much into it. And anyway, why does something like that matter, nearly 6 years later?
Because it was wrong, Sam.
Esme stands and steps back behind the armchair, supporting herself on it, grieving.
I really did care about my girlfriend, yet there I was, standing. I can still feel the backs of her hands. Her skin felt like paper. And she was fucking freezing. And you know the sick thing? I longed for that closeness for years, for her to trust me, to know her just a little bit more. But the circumstance was so twisted, and I couldn't face her eyes, and the way her mouth was all tense at the corners, all that grief. So when Danny was talking about regrets, I couldn't tune that out.
God, Cora, that's a big thing to be carrying all this time.
But I don't know what gets me the most, that I might have dismissed her when she opened up to me, or that some sick part of me wanted to keep the exchange and forget what had caused it, or that I could have this kind of conflict when my girlfriend was in the next room. I broke up with her 2 months later. I saw that woman a few more times than that part of my life ended, but I remember her eyes and I remember her hands. I think I've always felt I failed her, and in some terrible way, lost a very ill-begotten chance at something I'd wanted for years, and I hate that part of me, for Shelley's sake.
Jesus. What was she? Who was she? What was her name?
Her name was Esme. She never knew any of that. It would only have hurt her. But there's little I wouldn't do to see her again, to end on a good note.
Closure.
Huh? Yeah, I suppose so. See, this is why you shouldn't ask me, should I?
Cora, you will move past this, I promise you.
He stands and moves to a couch beside her chair, taking her hand.
I guarantee you, that's not how she ever would have seen things. If she knew you in any way at all, she would have known there's no way you'd ever do her harm. Not in the slightest, okay? I love you so much. You have us. You will move past it all. You're going to be so happy, Cora, I promise you. You can miss someone and be happy at the same time.
I love you too, you cheesy bastard.
Kissing her hand and standing.
I'm going to go grab my things and then we can head out, yeah?
Sounds perfect to me.
Right. I'll be down in a few minutes. I'll get the others as well.
Exit Sam. Esme walks around the back of the armchair, reaching to place her hand softly on Cora's cheek. Cora places her hands gently on Esme's, closes her eyes, and gently removes it from her cheek. She then stands, taking the photo from the table.
He's right, isn't he?
She brings it to the locker and returns it to its original position. Esme walks downstage, her back to Cora, eyes cast down, smiling sadly. Turning back around, coming slowly downstage.
I could be with the most wonderful, most uplifting people in the world and still not be happy. I'm just vacant all the time. How much time have I wasted like this?
She stops at the front of the stage, some distance from Esme. Both are facing front.
I can't do this anymore. I loved you so much. I thought that if you ever left, I'd never be able to smile again. Every day, the only thing I waited for, really waited for, was seeing you again. You made me so happy, unbeknownst to yourself. It was the brightness of you, always so intelligent, so involved, so quietly intense. You drove me mad, mind. I'd never met anyone who could be so infuriatingly childish. I was embarrassed for you sometimes, but I loved you fiercely. And I can't let the memory of you suck the joy from what I have now. It was me who left, not you. I had no choice. and now I have to be happy.
Esme turns to face her, walks towards her, and stops in the centre, watching her. She looks almost proud.
You brought me nothing but goodness into my life, Esme. You made me happy, however temporarily that may have been. But I don't know you anymore, and that's just the way it is. You will have changed in ways I will never know, and pretending otherwise only does damage. All I can hope for is that you, the real you, not the vague memory I carry with me, that you're happy too.
Cora finally turns to face Esme, who smiles warmly. Cora beams back at her and walks to the centre, taking her hand.
Surely, somewhere you'll hear me. Thank you, Esme. I hope your life is filled with joy till the end of your days.
Cora throws her arms around Esme, and they remain there for a few moments.
Cora, come on, we're heading now.
Cora pulls back, taking Esme's face in her hands, still beaming. Then she turns and leaves, a new spring in her step. Esme takes a breath, then turns and exits through the opposite wing. Lights fade. The photograph on the locker is momentarily illuminated. Lights down. End of Act 2.
And that's the end of the play. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to everyone who took part. And a massive thank you to all of you who have watched and who will watch this in the future. And obviously a huge thank you to the writer, Angie. And we didn't get to put this play on back in March in person, unfortunately, but hopefully someday we can